So 1992, June 1992 was when I started. So that's when, like, the official opening of the Maryland District Development Center. I had professional staff ready to go. And so starting something, so if you think back then, the internet was not even really anything at that point. So, I mean, we used to, faxes was the way to communicate with Israel at the time. So it was really quite something to try to set up a trade mission at that point without the internet and without the ease of the phone calls that we have now. In starting a new organization, there were several things to do all at once. One was the economic development, the business development, getting a pipeline of companies going both ways and developing that. The other was organizational development and establishing the organizational procedures and working with the State Department of Economic Development, with the Associated, with the funders. The funding was really only raised for 2 years. It was kind of an experimental program. Different foundations that gave the monies that, let's see if this idea can work, promoting economic development between Maryland and Israel. So they got 2 years of commitments of funding from the family foundations in Baltimore that fund a lot of the philanthropic activities, the Meyerhoffs, the Weinbergs, the Hofbergers, Blausteins, and so forth, the Shapiro Family Foundation, and so forth. And they said, Barry, you got a job for 2 years. We'll see if you can, make something of it, and we'll keep it going. So that was, I was single, no kids, so I could take an experimental job. And it worked. We were able to get some projects going. We did a project. The first project was in aquaculture, I remember. And we involved, at the time, it was the Christopher Columbus Center, University of Maryland Center in Marine Biotechnology, and some private companies here and in Israel to develop an aquaculture project. That eventually created a new product that was a fish food with special enzymes for the fish farming industry that then was commercialized through it's a company here in Columbia called Advanced Bionutrition. It's still on the market, and that was a lot of the research for that came out of Israel, and then it was the joint research that led to the product, and people could see that we could create new technologies through these partnerships, spin off companies, and that they could grow and create jobs. So that was the early successes. We had a sister city program with a town in Israel at the time called Kiryat Gat, and that's when Israel was really starting to flourish as a high-tech location. They had a huge percentage of the Russian immigrants were scientists and engineers. So Israel set up this whole network of high-tech incubators around the country, and they set one up in our town, in our sister city, Kiryat Gat, and Marvin Shapiro actually was the chairman of the board of the incubator, and we set up a loan fund to help companies in that incubator. The government had set up a structure where the government provided some funding, but there was a gap that the entrepreneurs still had to fill, and they had to raise the money. But being from a communist country, they didn't really know anything about how to raise money and how to write a business plan or position a company. So that's where we kind of jumped in and mentored the companies and provided this loan fund for them to help build their companies.